We were in order when we all showed up in the lunchroom at noon. So we have 2 policies you guys reviewed, correct?
Yep.
So do you have some recommendations for us?
We do. The policy committee met yesterday. That is a public meeting.
Are you recording? You all set? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I forgot you.
We met yesterday. It's a public meeting. If anybody ever wants to come to a policy meeting, they're super fun, and Mr. Urquhart is very efficient. We first reviewed policy F3, which is the Fire and Emergency Preparedness, which is a VSBA policy that they recommended that everybody adopt. So we would like to bring that forward to the board and recommend that we warn the policy for adoption.
And that was required because of new legislation, correct?
And that one was to make fire drills more trauma informed and some different options and things like
And let
that.
parents know ahead of time.
Yeah.
Anybody got any comments, questions, thoughts? Tracy's the last administrator standing. I don't think Tracy was involved, right? Was she and Mike?
No, it was just Mike and myself. Yep.
Have you seen that yet? Because it is going to change what you have to do for fire drills from now on.
No, but I will make sure I do. Write down.
And if you could also, your counterpart up in Wardsboro after you guys take over, just let them know also.
Sure.
Okay. So we'll have to post it. We warn, like, I don't know if you've done this yet, but we warn you have to warn for posting a policy, and then it has to be posted for a minimum of 14 days, and then we get to vote to adopt it after that. So the motion we would make is to warn it for posting. Don't everybody jump at once.
All right. I would like to make a motion that we warn policy F3 for posting.
Do we have a second?
Second that.
Thank you. Yeah, keep you You're supposed to make the motions.
Am I?
You're on it. Okay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Don't forget too, when we're going to have a real emergency, that you warn everybody at least 2 or 3 days ahead of time.
Oh, real emergency? Is that what you
I
said?
think that's in the policy too.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
If you know of them too, you can let her know ahead of time.
Okay. And then next up, we reviewed policy F4, which is also a new VSBA recommended policy. It is for access control and visitor management, and we would like to bring it forward to that and recommend that the board warn it for posting.
And that's another result of legislature.
Yes, it is.
So when we give them too much Kool-Aid in Montpelier, this is what we get.
More policies.
We're paused.
Cool. I looked at it, it's not a whole lot different than what we do
It
now.
seems like exactly what we do now.
Yeah, I think
I couldn't put my finger on what's different.
I think we were really ahead of the curve, but we're just dotting the I.
Yeah, reading about what the legislature was doing, they wanted to codify what a lot of schools already were doing so that they had more of a baseline for everyone. So, as you said, there's not going to be much change for our schools, which is great. Just make sure that it's towing the line that the Kool-Aid drinkers want to have.
Wow.
You said so. Just follow up on your Kool-Aid.
So, somebody want to make the motion?
Can I make the motion that we put policy F4?
Yeah, we want to post for warning, and then we.
Post for warning policy F4.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Cool. Probably too, because it's new for you folks, we should just review it. And Greg, I think, is supposed to help with that too. I think they're doing something this summer for making sure that we comply. Again, I don't think it's a whole lot different than what we're doing, but one of those things you can add to your list before school starts. Because if you need anything, both of you should let us know so we can make sure we take care of that.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Okay, so we did our two of those. I got, she wants to wait. That we can wait on. Tom, do you have something as public?
No, I just received an email and I had nothing to do today, so I thought I'd hear about I guess one of the agenda items speaking about the upper class structure.
Okay, we're going to get, Tracy's going to talk about that, but we're going to give her a few more minutes. So are you all set?
I'm good. As long as I'm not annoying you sitting here.
Pardon?
As long as I'm not annoying you sitting here.
Oh, no, God, no, I just want to make sure we always try to give the public their time to speak and make sure we hear from them.
Thanks, Rich.
So the next thing is, I guess we can deal with this.
Yeah.
And I think you're aware of this appeal that we had to a decision. Okay, so we had an appeal to a decision made by the administration in regards to a hazing,
Hazing, passive harassment bullying.
Yes.
HHB, we call them.
HHB. So what happens with those is that the administration has a hearing, does an investigation, talks to a bunch of people, and then makes a decision following a bunch of rules. The policy was not something the board adopted. It's a federal policy that the state adopted. So there's not a lot of leeway. It's pretty specific on what you have to do. But it does give the parents the right to make an appeal to the board once a decision's been made by the administration. And we are required to have a hearing within 30 days of us being notified that the parents of the I don't want to call them suspect. What do we call the student that's involved in this?
Parties.
Pardon?
The parties.
The party. The student which action was taken against. The party that it was taken against. So their parents did request yesterday, and we did get in writing. And you're lucky they didn't serve you.
I was gonna say, yeah, what's that?
We got it was handed to the administration.
Okay.
So because we're meeting today, they sent it to us.
Okay.
So what we need to do is we will have a hearing where we will have to be given the facts by both the aggrieved or the party that had action taken against them and their parents, as well as from our administrator. And Matt, and I think we'll have both Matt and Tammy there, or not Tammy, Matt and Tracy, there to represent their side, and then Bob will be there representing us, or representing the administration as well. So we need to set a date. So what I'd like to suggest is that we set a date of July 13th, it's a Thursday, at 5:30, so that we can meet with an attorney beforehand so he can tell us how this works, this process, and to make sure we do the process correctly. And then at 6:30, we would meet with the parents and the student if they decide to bring them. Is that okay with everybody? And then we would set July 12th, which is a Wednesday, as an alternate date in case the attorney can't make it and or the parents can't make it.
Is it a live meeting?
Yes, it'll be a lot. The meeting with the attorney will be Zoom, but our meeting will be live.
Then that date again.
Go ahead.
And so Zoom with the attorney, and then are we doing it over Zoom? Is there a Zoom option?
No, because it'll be an executive session.
Okay.
So I think it should be a live meeting.
Okay.
I'll be on.
Okay. Let's see what we can get for a quorum.
And just that date again.
The 13th, Thursday the 13th.
I can attend the Zoom meeting with the attorney.
Of July. Okay.
Okay. And then July 12th. And let's find out whether let's ask the attorney what his recommendation. Last time it was a live meeting. I don't.
Yeah. It works better as live.
And we did a phone call with the attorney, I think. The attorney wasn't here live last time. No. So we will meet on the 13th and the 12th as the alternate. And at that time too, I'd like to review a contractual issue too, after that's all said and done.
And was Dover being location?
I think it should be in Dover because it's a Dover student. I shouldn't say that. It should be in Dover because it was a Dover administrator that made the decision. How's that? Can't leave me alone for too long. Matt, is there anything else we need on that?
No, I just sent a notice to Bob.
Bob, okay, and just have Bob contact me if there's a problem. Okay, and Tracy, are you okay for those dates?
As far as I know.
Okay.
I didn't bring my calendar.
Okay, let us know because we did set an alternate too.
Okay. Should
Okay.
be fine.
So I think that's all we have. Now, the other item on the agenda was to continue discussion about the grade configuration plan. And Tracy was gonna speak to that and she wanted Matt here too, so turning it over to you folks.
So I, after our board meeting the last time, I got together with our new teacher, Carla Quadro, and Bridget, and we had probably an hour-long meeting, and we talked about different kind of scenarios. And with their expertise and knowing the configurations of the class sizes and what they really felt was the best configuration, kind of came up with it together, was to have a combined 4th and 5th grade, which would be about 13 students, and a straight 6th grade, which will be about 10, between 7 and 10, we're not really sure yet, students.
And it can change over the summer.
And it could change over the summer. With Carla teaching the 4-5, we thought she felt that given what Bridget and I shared with her, that given her number of years teaching experience and her background in school counseling, that she would be the best fit for them. And Bridget is going to teach 6th grade, which gives her a really great opportunity because she knows the group of kids already, and because the IB expectations for 6th graders are a little bit more. She already has that community base with her students that it would be a great fit. Plus, I'm right here in the building and I probably won't be able to give up helping. But so that, we talked about that. We did a lot of research on multi-graded classrooms and thinking about how while small class sizes are great, like sometimes there's too small, and we were having that with one of the classes. Our plan was to keep this model for 2 years, and then at the end of that 2 years, have the opportunity to hire another teacher, so that we would go back to a 4th, 5th, and 6th grade teachers, because our numbers in the primary unit are so that around 15 students per class, give or take 5.
And we can, we don't make decisions for 5 years down the road.
Yeah.
So even if come September, you've got 30 new students that moved in, we can
Right.
change that again.
Right. And I do remember you saying that last time, and right now this is, given the situation, this is what we think, and I'm super happy that if something changes drastically, then we have the opportunity to kind of move in a different direction. Carla is really excited to take on this group of students. Anything else you want me to, the plan over the summer is that we're gonna have a few Zoom calls, because I know that one of the teachers is not going to be here in Vermont, but we plan on connecting a few times over the summer. Carla definitely had already asked for some curriculum to look at, which I thought was great. When I heard that we had 2 Bridges trainers in our district, I emailed her and told her as soon as I had more information, I would hook her up with one of those trainings. She thought that was great. We talked a lot about IB stuff, and she, we're gonna figure out how that works, but with Bridget, right, and she right next door, she'll have that expertise right next door, because Bridget's wonderful. And that is the plan. Anything else you
Well, I'm
want to
really
add?
glad after all these years, Bridget's finally being promoted. And just remember, she said you were wonderful, so when she does your evaluation, just remind her of that. Is there any questions, comments from the board?
I don't think I have any questions. I'm glad that with your deliberating together about what to do, knowing Carla's coming on board without the IB experience, that you've already are assisting her and getting her on the pathway to be really prepared and ready for the 4th and 5th graders in this curriculum, which is fantastic. So, if you have the utmost confidence that she's going to be able to handle the combined classroom with the support that you have, then there's certainly no questions from me by any means. So thank you very much for putting the time and effort into making sure the students are cared for, as you always have.
Bridget or Matt or Tammy, any parting shot comments?
I'm going to add on to what Tracy said and say the same thing in a different way probably, but I'm looking forward to 6th grade. I think it'll definitely be a challenge with the expectations, but I've taught it before, so I'm super excited about that. I think also helping Carla with a combined class and having some pretty good solid IB units, we can get her started. Slowly working into it. She's taught some of the aspects of the first unit that I teach. We talked to her about that, so she's got that already. Just not the IB language necessarily, but she certainly has got the content and fitting the language in is going to be something that'll be pretty easy. So I think it'll be a good fit for at least the next 2 years.
So you've got a curriculum. She doesn't have to develop her own IB curriculum. You could give her the framework.
Yeah.
Oh, so that helps quite a bit, doesn't it? Tracy going to share her curriculum with you?
That's the plan.
And you've taught 6th grade before, so it's not like it's brand new.
Yes,
Good.
it's not great.
Okay. One real quick question. I know you were the IB coordinator, one of them, and we've always had two. Who's the other one? Okay, so have you guys considered who's going to be the new?
So Crystal's gonna stay on and Bridget's gonna take my place.
Okay, so you still have,
We'll still
we're
have
not
two.
dumping it all on one person?
No.
Okay, good. Do you have any comments or?
Well, first of all, I couldn't be more excited that Bridget's going to be teaching 6th grade because selfishly, I have a son in 5th, and she's a tremendous teacher. Both Bridget and Tracy, throughout the years, have done such a great job kind of differentiating skill level. So I guess the only thing I just thought of was, maybe preparation. 4th and 5th grade, you certainly can have children in the 4th grade who might be struggling with some of the content, and then you go all the way to 5th grade, and you could have some children who might need more. So again, I know both these teachers very well, and they've done a great job. But I don't know this new teacher, and I'm not being self-serving here because I don't have a child in this class. But is maybe just some plans for that, maybe ahead of time, or has that been discussed at all?
Well, I think that's what Tracy said. They're going to have some meetings over the summer, and she's got some curriculum to work with, and both of them are going to work with the new teachers. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, we've always said if Tracy decides or Bridget and Tracy decide there's something extra needed, they can always come to the board and we can help them with that.
Great.
We told them we're here to support them and let us know what they need. That was at the previous meeting. We had a fairly long conversation about it with Matt, and Tracy was there.
Thank you.
No, thank you for the question. Anybody else?
Yeah,
So-
I would just say the same thing. If you need more support, it doesn't have to be a teacher, but maybe some kind of assistant or something along those lines. If there is a wide range, and those are some of the ideas, don't be shy not to bring that to our attention.
Will do, thank you.
You don't want to wear you out the first year.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I have a question. So the board has made a decision to combine. Hi.
How are you?
So the board has made a decision to formally combine the grades.
Yes. Well, no. The administration made a recommendation to do that, and we usually follow that recommendation. We told them last meeting to come to us because they weren't sure how they wanted to split the three up, but we, in concept, approved that.
So 4th and 5th together.
No, we approved some combination that they were going to come to us at this meeting to tell us.
Oh.
And
I
then
didn't miss it.
you missed it, so
Oh.
they're going to do 4 and 5 together and 6. Okie dokie.
4, 5, and 6 together.
Nope, 4, 5, and then 6.
Okay.
4, 5 is going to be combined. 6 is going to be.
Okay.
I just, I think we're good. We're going to meet on in the middle of July, we said, the 14th, whatever the
12th
date,
and
12th and 13th. So if you need some time to touch base with us on something, we can set aside some time there. And in a couple minutes, we're going to sign on a summer schedule too, so that let's make it so that, as you're getting closer, if something comes up, that we have a meeting planned so we can discuss it. Is everybody good?
Is this going to be just for next year, or this is going to continue?
We only go a year at a time, ma'am. When we set the budget is when we decide.
Thanks.
So next fall, we'll have a discussion. And it also depends on, again, we'd have had 3 grades if we didn't have mass migration. We could have a mass migration back in, and we may have to have double grades at some grade. I've always said if I could predict the future, I wouldn't be here.
It's just a simple question. Thanks.
Well, there's no simple answer because we don't know.
I will ask, is it for next year or in continuum?
It's
just for next year.
We only set 1 year at a time. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? Okay, I guess usually we only meet once a month in the summer. So we have a meeting. So why don't we use that one as our meeting date, even though it's not it's not on a Monday.
On the Thursday?
Yeah, and if there's anything else, there's usually not a lot that comes up in the summer. We do need to meet in August. So what's the first Monday in August?
7th.
So usually in the part.
Oh, it's just everybody's like pulling.
So what we usually do is we'll meet the first Monday in August, and then we won't meet again till the second Monday in September, and then that way it gives the administrators, time to get their feet under them and get school open. Does that Monday work for you?
It's Monday the 2nd.
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay, we need to know because it would be important to have you there. We could move to another Monday. I just don't want it. When do you start getting like staff in the building and start getting things prepared for?
So I have to be here a week prior to the start of school is what my contract says. I
don't think the contract says a week ahead. I think the contract has a number of dates.
No, it says the week ahead.
Does it?
Yeah.
I think so, I did.
When did you do that?
Well, selfishly, I'm going to tell you, I think I might still be on vacation that day, but I'm not sure.
It would be nice to have you.
Yeah.
So let me know what works.
I can let you know.
Why don't we plan that on the third, that next meeting? You can give us some dates.
Yep.
And maybe we can connect with the new Wardsboro person.
Okay.
And find out for them when they'll be there too. So why don't we do a meeting in Wardsboro in August? Yep.
I'm sorry to go backwards, but I had something to say from before.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just am a little bit confused because I thought that the money was in the budget for the 6th grade teachers, so I'm just kind of confused as to A, where the money is going, and obviously we can just hold on to it, but B, why it was so necessary if we already had the money in the budget to get rid of this, to not have a 6th grade teacher when it's like.
Because there was a recommendation at the last meeting from the administration that we not do that.
No, I understand it. No, not from you. Like, what was the reason behind that?
The number of students. To have a class of 5 or 6 students is maybe not the best use of the money, and to be fiscally responsible to the voters and to the taxpayers, and it was recommended that we not do that. I thought it was all in the last set of minutes. They made we had a recommendation from both the superintendent going and coming, and the administrators going and coming to do that.
Okay. I think the only other question I had was that is this meeting not on Zoom?
No, it's not.
This is
So there were a lot of parents that didn't, because every single meeting has been on Zoom, so all the parents just kind of assumed, and I think there were a lot of parents that had stuff to say that didn't have access to this specific conversation that were emailing each other trying to find the Zoom.
They did have access. They could come here to the meeting. We warned the meeting, and they can attend the live meeting.
I think that there's not the communication that people needed to know that it wasn't a Zoom meeting.
And folks can always, if they have something to say and can't come to a meeting physically, they can always send correspondence ahead of time.
Okay.
We welcome
I think that a bunch of parents didn't know that it wasn't Zoom, just because I think they kind of assumed because every other meeting had been on Zoom.
No, we didn't put a Zoom link on the agenda
Okay.
because we knew that we were getting together for the staff lunch.
It was confusing though, because I did at the last minute click on the agenda link thinking it was gonna Zoom me in, and that's why I was late. So my
Oh, that's why it's always so good to read the agendas beforehand. I have the same.
I read the agenda. I didn't pay attention to the link.
Yeah.
That took me to another agenda.
Okay. So we're gonna need to set a meeting at the next meeting for an August meeting. And why don't we also, if you guys can think ahead to a September meeting, we'll get the next 2 meetings scheduled.
September, I'm good. Yours, whenever.
Yeah, well, September, we usually don't meet the first one, and then we usually meet the third week, just because that gives the administrators, the staff, time to, deal with whatever issues come up from the summer break. So we'll definitely do the third Monday in Wardsboro, in Dover. We'll try to do, if we do an August one, we'll do that in Wardsboro, so we'll still keep switching on and off. If there's nothing else.
Sorry, I wanted to give an update on the electric bus.
Oh.
I don't
No,
know
go
the
ahead.
agenda, sorry, we had old business or something.
No, just go ahead.
So, as you guys may all be aware, that the board authorized me to kind of look into an application for an electric bus for Dover School, essentially, but owned by the district. Unfortunately, the school is no longer eligible this year for the application. And the reason is, which I was unaware of, each year, it's a 5-year program for the EPA, and they give out a ton of money. It's like $5 billion in New Jersey. But last year, it was, you could apply for anywhere from 1 to 15 buses for your district. This year, they've changed that to have a minimum of 15 buses that you need to apply for. Obviously, we don't need 15 buses for the town of Dover. I thought, unfortunate, I thought it was a great fit for the school, considering we had solar panels, and not to mention the cost, which is a cost of a new bus, as we all know, is a large percentage of our budget, so it would have been a free bus, which would have been great. And the other thing that was a bit unfortunate, which is disappointing, was that the program is designed for rural areas because it has a greater impact on schools like ours, because it has a greater economic impact, because it helps us to get a new bus where we normally wouldn't afford it, and also environmental impact. So that's kind of bad news. So now, moving forward, we need to make a decision whether or not we want to try again next year, or obviously we'll work in the future.
Well, they keep it for 15 buses.
Well, they changed it. Each year they seem to change the criteria. So this year they changed it to having a minimum. You could do it if we were to combine with the district or with a third party, but that's not something I'm interested in taking on. I thought it was an ideal fit just for the school, but unfortunately, in order to qualify, we'd have to combine with another entity, whether it be a school, a bus company, or with a larger district. And I don't think we have time to have that done by August, even if we were going down that road.
Well,
unless you know someone.
Well, what I was going to say was, maybe what we should do, if you have interest, is we should send an email to the VSBA and ask them, are there other school districts that have interest that didn't meet the minimum on this one? And maybe we could find several, that want 2 buses each, and us with our 1, that would give us our 15.
Yeah. I can try. It's a bit tricky. I don't know if it has to be one entity that applies. So I have to look at that a little bit.
If they apply, can they then dole them out? Can there be
possible?
Can some, say, Wyndham Central apply on behalf of Brattleboro, Guilford, Dover, Wardsboro?
Right. Possibly. I'll look into it a little further. That's where I am now.
Okay.
So it's not looking good for our nice clean bus.
Not looking good for free bus.
No free bus this year.
No
free rides.
And a rural entity that would encapsulate 15 buses sounds a little oxymoronic, and it's almost like they've designed a plan that they can't institute so they don't have to.
It's frustrating. I can't imagine any district in Vermont that has 15 buses. Maybe they're
Burlington?
Burlington at best.
Right, and would that qualify as a rural district?
Well, it would qualify.
Yeah.
But they don't have to, it's not only rural districts, but that's geared
That's
towards,
their
that's the
viewpoint.
preference. Like if two schools were to apply and one was from a rural area, they would most likely take the rural area, let's put it that way. But it's not that they're not disqualified for not being rural.
We could do 15 buses and just do.
Which is fine here for the next 50 years.
Right. Well,
Unfortunately, we can't do that either because you have to replace it.
Build a garage.
Yeah, build a huge garage. And lease them out. We'll make a fortune. So anyway,
Can you put plow?
what's that?
An electric bus with a plow?
Right, that's a good idea. So anyhow, I'll keep at it and that'll be good for this year.
Thank you for bringing that forward and looking into it.
Well, let's not take it dead yet. Let's send something to the ESB director.
We're on CPR.
And just see if there's other, let's see if there's other schools that want to do
Yeah,
it.
I'll reach out.
Okay. Anybody else? Guys over there, is that? Yeah, okay. Everybody here good? What's that magic thing, Mike, that we always want to hear at the end of a meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Cool. Thank you, everybody.